Hello, and welcome back. We've been discussing theories of evil, and first we talked about the privation theory of evil, and we talked about Nietzsche's theory of evil, and the idea of being beyond good and evil. And now I want to talk to you about Hannah Arendt's theory of evil. And this is probably the lightest introduction of the three. With the privation theory, I think I spent a little more time getting into it at a little deeper level. With Nietzsche, I talked about it a little more surface, and I think with Hannah's theory, we're going to see this as probably at the most surface level. So this isn't meant to be super in-depth. This is just meant to get you to be thinking about evil in a particular way and in a particular concept that Hannah is going to put forward. All right, so Hannah Arendt's theory of evil. She wrote this piece called "The Banality of Evil," and she wrote this at the trial of Eichmann. During World War II, the Holocaust and all that went on, and what you have is really one of Hitler's right-hand men put on trial, and she went to cover this trial as a Jew. And as she covered it, she was struck by how banal he is. If you don't know what this means, and if you're too lazy to get a dictionary, to be banal is to be like uninteresting. It's to be it's to be boring. It's not new. It's the same old, the thing you've seen before. And it's really just boring. And that I don't think that sounds as striking as it should, that evil can be boring. Because if evil were boring, if people really thought evil is boring, I suspect that Hollywood wouldn't exist, at least not in the way it does. Most movies that are put out today are based on the idea that the way to capture people's attention, to people's interests, is to put in things that are what might be called evil in some respects, right? Murder moves a plot along very well. A lie moves a plot along very well, right? And then the lie comes out and no, everything goes wrong. These things are what move plots along in our storytelling. They're storytelling devices because we presume that the way to capture someone's attention is through unethical and immoral acts. And there might be some truth in that, but I would argue actually that the reason why it captures our attention is more because we want to see the resolution. We want to see it resolved in some way. In that way, we're still seeking after something that isn't just evil for the sake of evil. But let's just think about this for a second. Evil is boring. How many of you watch true crime? You guys watch true crime at all? You ever notice that true crime ends up sounding exactly the same every single time? Someone did something, someone got murdered, someone maybe got caught, maybe didn't get caught. But it's like, it's the same old every single time. Like those Saw movies, they're on like the 10th one or something. I mean, it's like, how do we invent new ways for people to get tortured? Well, it's boring after a while. The timeless stories, the stories that span generations, don't seem to be things like Saw. They seem to be things like the hero overcoming adversity, right? Someone doing something courageous and heroic, these are the things that span generations. And for this reason, I think it goes against so much of our culture to say that evil is boring. But when you begin to examine it, it really is. It's just boring. It's the same old every single time. So you might expect to see someone who encapsulates evil, like an Eichmann. And what you end up finding, as Hannah Arendt found, is that they're making excuses, right? Same old. Someone gets in trouble, they make excuses. They don't own up to what they've done. They don't seem aware of what they've done. And for Hannah, it's like these are people whose natures, I'm really interpreting Hannah through our Aristotelian tradition, which maybe isn't fair, but I'm going to do it anyway. That human nature can be reshaped to such a degree that we can be tempted to do the right thing. So if you notice in our reading, there's that section on temptation, right? Most people are tempted to do the wrong thing. And instead what you had were Nazis who were tempted to do the right thing because doing the wrong thing was just so normal for them. And what she found is just that these people are boring. It's normal people. You expect to find a very dramatic and dynamic, evil monster, evil character, big horns coming out of their heads. And instead what you find is a short little German who's making excuses. Pretty boring stuff. So I would encourage you to meditate on that. Think about that evil is boring, right? This is why the students in my class who stand out, it's not the students who do the wrong thing, right? The students who go around vaping in the bathroom or anything like that. The students who stand out, that's boring. That's the things that all students do. Who cares? The students who stand out are the ones who actually try. The students who have insights into our discussions, those are the students who stand out. Those are the students who are interesting. But the students who just rebel, get in trouble, spend all their time in room 203, that's welcome to the club. That's boring. All right, so very, very short, very light introduction to the banality of evil, and just one more way to think about evil, I think, from a very unique perspective. Once you get into later philosophy, especially 20th and 21st century philosophy, a lot of it becomes, essay writing, thinking about things in interesting ways, and less of a science as you might have in the Greeks and the medievals. But anyway, the banality of evil. There you go.